Alright, grade 9s, how you doing here? I thought I'd just give you a little video tutorial of the archaeological world that you're going to do and do that big dig. So when you come here, you'll see that left a little board for you here with what you're supposed to do again. So you're going to go to each section. There's 16 sections in total, and you're going to be archaeologists, so you have to use the grid system that you talked about and survey the land and figure out how you're going to dig to find what the civilization was about. So you're going to dig around, you're going to unearth secrets that lie beneath. What you're going to have to do is take pictures. So inside of Creative Edition, when you hit the letter E, that gives you your inventory. And when you go to the little magnifying glass here to search, right, if you type in camera, all right, you're going to get a camera. You can see I already have one down. So make sure that's down in your toolbar here. So if you're not sure how to do that, you would just drag, put that down, and away you go. All right. Other thing you're definitely going to need is something called a portfolio. Okay, and I can see I already have mine down here. So what a portfolio does, it is actually all the pictures you take will go inside your portfolio, and you're going to catalog your artifacts. You're going to tell me what you think they are, and you're going to tell me what grade you found them. All right, you're going to need these pictures later on too when you go and do the second part, which is open up your book and quill, which we'll get to right away, and draw some inferences about what you think you found here. So again, you got that going on, and then since I said it, we might as well do it. Let's pick up, when you go book, here's your book and quill, right? And you're going to make sure that that's part of your work too, okay? And if you want, you can just dump anything like that away, because we're in Creative Edition, so it doesn't really matter that way. So you want to make sure that you've equipped yourself with the camera, book and quill, and the portfolio. These things are really, I'm just going to do my change this around a little bit so you can see. If you want now too, again, you can gear up, you have everything. I'll take a pickaxe to dig with, and I guess I'll go with the diamond one, and I will put him inside of there and think I'm good to go. So I have all my equipment that I need to do that. Okay, so again, it says you're going to create a book. Like I said there, your name will be on the book. I'll show you some of that. And you know, you're going to have to be really careful, because if you dig too quickly, or you know, you're not paying attention, you could miss some major artifacts. Okay, so you're going to make history. All right, so if you watch that little video like you were supposed to, one thing they talked about is using drones, and it's cool in creative mode because you can become a drone yourself. So what I did is I hit space a couple times there. Again, you can see space will help you fly up. On the left hand side, it tells you how to move and walk and what everything is for there. All right, so you can do a survey of your land here. Now you can see there's 16 grids. There are artifacts in each grid. Some are easier to find than others, and there's one that doesn't have anything in, so you're going to have to kind of be aware for that. I strongly recommend that you use a mouse to do this, because a lot of times if you're using your trackpad to click, it cannot maybe do what you want it to do. So when I look here, I can survey and I can see, wow, well look, there's something over here at number 1. So when you go here to 1, there's probably a good chance when something's on the surface like that, that there's probably something underneath. So that might be a clue to figure out what's inside of number 1. Okay, then you have 2, 3, 4, and you can continue with that. So let's just help you with number 1. Why not? Okay, so if you're watching this video and you'll go through, and again, nice and creative mode, you're okay. You're going to equip yourself with the pickaxe, so that's number 4. Number 5 on there. And then when you get closer to it, again, I'm hitting W to get closer to it, you'll left click to break the blocks. So you can see here, I'm breaking the blocks. Oh, what's going on here? I found something. Excellent. Something's a little bit different here than everything else. So another thing you'll notice on the side where it says position -48, 4, and -50, those are your coordinates in your Minecraft world. Those will come in really important to you too, to kind of know where you're at. So if you're ever lost, just let me know. I can help you find things. Another cool thing about the world that we're using now is it has command blocks in, so you can't escape. So you're stuck inside the grid system, which is all right. Okay, so when you get here, again, you got to be really careful, and you got to dig around. because if you accidentally clicked, like if I clicked right now, I would wreck my artifact. So you got to be really careful. That's why I'd highly, oh look, I found something else. I would highly recommend that, and I'll show you how to do this too, is that you make a copy of this world before you decide to do it. So if something happens and you do accidentally get rid of something, you could restart and go from there. But you can see how you have to be really careful when you're around here. So again, what I've done is I surveyed the land. I'm coming here and I use my grid system, and in grid 16 I'm finding things, and I can also look at my position and kind of figure out where that I'm at. Okay, so I'm just going to keep digging and see if there's anything else in around here, and so far I'm doing all right. I found a couple things. Now, oh, there, I found something else too. I'm in luck. Now this is a really important part of what we're doing here, is that you can only go down 1, 2, 3. If you go down one more and you click on this, you'll put a hole in the ground and you'll actually fall into the abyss. So one of the drawbacks to this world is, and actually it isn't a drawback, it kind of keeps things so you're not digging forever too, is that you can only go back so far. So I can just show you here. If I clicked on that, you can see that there's a hole, and if you fall in that hole, you'll fall and fall and fall. You can fly back up. You're not hopefully done forever, but just know that you don't want to go down there, and there's nothing hidden in that bottom row in there. Okay, so be really careful with your digging, otherwise you'll fall forever. So I got lucky here. I found places where there's few artifacts here. So what you're going to do, all right, is I'm going to right click. All right, don't left click, because if you left click you'll destroy it. But right click, you open up. So oh look, I found something. I found you know, a chest, and it has some seeds in it. Okay, when I go over top of that, so that's pretty cool. So again, I know there's seeds, and this is in the bottom level, and each level, all right, for what we're doing here excuse me, is that we're going to say that each block is 1,000 years. Okay, so if I were going back, and we talked about relative time and that, so this here would be the oldest relative to that, relative to that. If we did absolute dating, if we say each block is 100, we'd go like 100, 200, 300. All right, so it's not exact, but it's not too bad for what we're doing. So what you would do now, this is why you need the camera. I put number 1, and you got to sometimes be careful with how you're taking your pictures, but because sometimes right click is going to open, so you just got to go here and boom, I took that. So now I can go into 2 and go into my portfolio, and when I right click now, my book comes up. And what I would do in here is, again, this is what I was talking about, cataloging things with the grid system. So in grid 1, okay, on level 3, okay, you found seeds. Okay, so that's when you do this and you keep things organized like this, it's going to help you later on to figure out how old things were, what you discovered, and then when you go back and do the second part with making your inferences in your book and quill, you can go back to your portfolio. You're going to have to export this eventually, and you can see on the bottom there's something that says export portfolio. Once you have all your pictures, you'll do that. You'll change this to your name, right? So Mr. V Big Dig Photos. Okay, and then you'll save that to your desktop, and then eventually you'll hand that in. If you're working in a group of 2, you can just put both your names in there and your photos, and then you'll be able to hand that in. So it's one thing that you have to hand in eventually, is all your pictures. And what's cool about this, when you export it, it puts it all together for you, and you'll have all your pictures in there. Okay, and I'll hit cancel on that, and I will just close the book. Okay, now when I go to my second one here, I right click. Oh, I found bone. Interesting. Okay, so I will use my camera, go on here, take a picture of this, and I will put in, I'll go to my portfolio, right click, all right, and so this is grid 1, level 3. Now another thing you can do, but I won't make you guys do it this time, is to put the coordinates on there so you know precisely where everything is. But oops, this is level 2. For now, what I'll do is just ask you to kind of keep yourself organized like this. So because once you leave, you'll be able to find everything. But what a real archaeologist would do is they would put down all their information into like a book and whatever, and they put all their coordinates on there so they can find things. All right. So and then here, I right click on here. Oh, and here there's bone meal. Interesting. Okay. So and notice how it's a couple things. Oops, see what I mean by you got to be off a little bit to take your picture. Let's go there, take my picture, go back into my portfolio, and this one here would be in grid 1, level 1, and this was bone meal. Okay, so that's good. You've got this all done. You've completed your find for the first part. Now you can go out, you can kind of take a look. If you want, you can take another picture and show where you had there too. You could do other things, but now what you would do is inside of your book and quill, right, when you go in here, you could say in grid 1, these are the things that I found, and then make an inference. Now, I don't know if you realize, but like when we did the survey and we went apart, you were able to see it from the sky. So what do you think this was? Like, was this a place where they threw their bones? What would we call that? So then you'd have to make your inferences. So grid 1, seeds and bones, right? And seeds, bones, and bone meal. And you saw how it was stacked, right? So, and you saw that it came over top. So one inference I might say is that this is their garbage dump, right? This is where they had the food items that they didn't want anymore. So that might be my inference. And again, I want you guys to go more into that, but I don't want to say too much because I want you guys to think and not just put what I have. But you're going to keep doing that for each of the grids, all right? And then at the end, put a little thing. And then at the end, what you'll be able to do here is you'll be able to sign it, and you'll be able to put the book and put like, Mr. V's Big Dig. All right, and then I won't do it right now, but when you go sign and close, well, actually I will do it right now so you'll see how it looks. If you go sign and close, see you have that book there. So now when I right click on this, right, it has export. And then again, this here, what you'll end up saying is, see, it says Mr. V, that's perfect. What I have there, and then you'll save that too. So those are the two things that I'm going to want you guys to hand in: your pictures from your portfolio and your work and your references, from your book and quill. Okay, and if you ever have problems with it, let me know, and I'll definitely help you out with that. All right. So now we've done 1. Now I would suggest you go to 2 and the such. All right, and go on and do that. So I'm hoping that gives you guys a good idea of what you need to do, how the grid system works, how you need to survey, how you need to dig and be careful, how you need to take your pictures, put them in your portfolio, and catalog all your work, and then how to take your work and go inside of the book and quill and type up what you think each part would mean. So I'm hoping that, remember, don't fall down. That would be bad. But I'm hoping that will make sense. There's a few little Easter eggs here and there, so if you get stuck, you can talk to me. But again, there's 16 areas in total, and each area except for 1 has something in it or on it or has some significance in it to figuring out what the civilization would be. All right, so hope that made sense, and I hope you had some fun. I know I had fun showing this and building this for you. And I hope that this will help you to be better archaeologists and understand our past a little bit. All right. Thanks a lot.